Last night, I wasn't supposed to be home, but at 10:04 p.m., I heard my wife whisper something that froze me in place. He'll never find the insurance file. And in that moment, I realized someone had already planned my accident.
He'll never find the insurance file. My wife whispered it so quietly I almost missed it. The hallway outside my home office was dark. 10:04 p.m. The only sound in the house was the slow tick, tick, tick of the wall clock above the staircase. I wasn't supposed to be home yet, but there I was, standing still, one hand on the railing, listening to the woman I trusted most talk about something I'd never heard of before, an insurance file. And the way she said it wasn't relief. It sounded like a plan. So I stayed exactly where I was and listened. What kind of plan needs to be whispered inside your own house? My name is Daniel Mercer. I'm 36, and if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. 3 weeks ago, my life looked ordinary. We lived in a quiet townhouse in Denver, Colorado, Maple Street, Unit 14B. My wife, Laura, worked part-time managing accounts for a dental office downtown. I ran a small logistics consulting business from home. 10 years together, 7 years married. Nothing dramatic, nothing suspicious, just routines. Morning coffee, evening walks, shared passwords. At least, that's what I believed. But 2 weeks earlier, I noticed something small. A thin beige folder inside Laura's work bag. The tab read only 2 words, insurance claim. Why would my wife need a file like that? The warning came from someone who had no reason to get involved, and that made it worse. It was Friday afternoon, downtown Denver, 3:17 p.m. I had stopped at a cafe on Larimer Street to grab coffee before a meeting. The waiter placed my receipt down slowly. Then he leaned closer. His voice dropped to a whisper. "Sir, your wife was here yesterday." I blinked. Laura rarely came downtown during work hours. I said, "Okay." The waiter glanced toward the window, then back at me. "She met with a man, older, suit. They talked about an insurance policy." My stomach tightened. "Are you sure it was my wife?" He nodded. "I only remember because she said something strange. She said the payout was worth $2 million. $2 million? Have you ever had a stranger say something that instantly makes your stomach drop? So that night, I did the one thing people rarely do when something feels wrong. I didn't confront her. I watched. At 10:04 p.m., Laura thought I was still at the gym. Instead, I was standing halfway down the staircase, just outside the glow of the kitchen lights. The house smelled faintly like lavender detergent and the tomato soup she'd made earlier. Laura was on the phone, pacing slowly, barefoot, calm, completely comfortable. "Relax," she whispered. "Daniel has no idea." My chest tightened, but I stayed still. The wall clock above the hallway continued its quiet rhythm. Tick, tick, tick. She stopped near the kitchen counter, opened a drawer, pulled out the same beige folder I had seen weeks earlier. Then she said the sentence that froze the air in my lungs. "He'll never find the insurance file." The man on the phone must have asked something. Laura laughed softly, the kind of laugh you give when something feels already solved. "The policy activated 6 months ago," she said. "All we need now is the accident." My hand tightened on the staircase railing. Accident. My accident? Or someone else's? She closed the folder slowly, then added one more sentence. "Once it happens, the payout hits the account within 30 days. Have you ever watched someone lie to you while smiling like everything is normal? The phone call should have been enough, but Laura kept talking, which is the dangerous thing about overconfidence. It makes people careless. She opened the beige folder again. Papers rustled softly. Yes, I saw the numbers, she whispered. $2 million even. $2 million. My life had just been assigned a price tag. She walked toward the dining table and spread documents across the surface. From where I stood, I could see the top page clearly. Policyholder, Daniel Mercer. Beneficiary, Laura Mercer. Coverage amount, $2 million. My pulse stayed steady, strangely steady, because something else caught my attention. Laura said another name. Mark, relax. The accident report will look clean. Mark, my former business partner, the same man who had left my company 8 months ago after retiring. Laura continued, the car already has the mechanical issue. The repairman confirmed it. Mechanical issue. Brake failure. Suddenly, the pieces aligned. My car. My morning commute. Highway 25. Laura lowered her voice even further. Once Daniel's gone, we sell the Maple Street property and move to Scottsdale. Then she said the most dangerous line of the entire night. He won't even know what hit him. The next morning, I made breakfast, just like always. Eggs, toast, coffee. Laura walked into the kitchen at 7:42 a.m. She smiled. Morning. Her voice was light, easy. She poured coffee into her favorite $4.29 ceramic mug from the Denver Farmers Market. Big day, she asked. Possibly, I said. We sat at the table, quiet, normal, the unbearable kind of normal. Then Laura reached into her bag, pulled out the beige folder, and slid it toward me. Daniel, I've been thinking about our future, she said gently, about protecting us. I opened the folder slowly. Insurance forms, signatures, policy confirmation. She tapped the final page. All we need is one last signature. My eyes stayed on the paper. Then I said the sentence that changed the room. I already know about the $2 million policy. Laura blinked. Just once. Step 1, denial. What? Daniel, what are you talking about? Step 2, minimize. It's just life insurance. Every couple has it. I leaned back in my chair. And every couple plans brake failures on Highway 25? Her face went pale. Step 3, threat. You're being paranoid, she snapped. You have no proof. I placed my phone on the table. The screen displayed a timestamp. 10:04 p.m. Audio recording. Laura's voice. Clear. All we need is now the accident. Her hands began to shake. Then she whispered something I didn't expect. Mark told you about the file? Step 4, accomplice. So there it was. My former partner, my wife, 2 conspirators, 1 insurance payout. But Laura still didn't know the worst part, and that was about to land. Laura stared at the phone, silent. The wall clock filled the room. Tick, tick, tick. Then she said quietly, "Delete it." I shook my head. "You made one mistake," I said calmly. "You assumed I came here unprepared." Laura looked up, confusion turning into fear. "The phone recording is just the beginning," I continued. I slid another document across the table. Bank transfer records, Mark's name, Laura's name, a joint account opened 6 weeks ago. Balance, $48,300, deposit pending. Her lips parted. "How did you—" "I hired an investigator Tuesday," I said, "and he's been listening to Mark's calls all week." Laura's shoulders dropped. The confidence was gone now, completely gone. One final silence passed between us. Then I stood up and said the only line that mattered. "You should probably sit down before the police arrive." At 8:16 a.m., the doorbell rang. Laura didn't move. Officer Daniel Ruiz, badge 4172, stepped inside with another officer. Behind them stood a man Laura had never seen before, Private Investigator Elliot Crane. Ruiz spoke calmly. "Laura Mercer, we have evidence regarding a conspiracy to commit insurance fraud and attempted homicide." Handcuffs clicked. Soft. Final. Laura finally looked at me, her voice barely audible. "Daniel, please." I picked up my coat, walked past her, and said the last thing she heard from me. "You should have chosen a cheaper plan." I moved out of Maple Street 2 weeks later, sold the house, changed cities, changed routines. But sometimes I still remember the sound of that hallway clock. Tick, tick, tick. Because betrayal rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers, it smiles, it pours your coffee in the morning, and if you ignore the quiet details, it can cost you everything. I learned something that night. Greed is not just a crime, it is a choice, and so is preparation.